up, everybody? Welcome back to the morning movie chat. I am your host, Trinity. Thank you all so much for being here. I do greatly appreciate you all being here today. What's going on here? I hope you're having a good day, guys. It's Friday. Can you believe it's already Friday? Man, here we are, just a little over 1 week into the new year. And in case you guys don't already know, today's the 10th. I'm not sure if you guys follow me on Facebook, Instagram, or or Twitter. You guys should make sure that you go over there and follow me as well. Over there on, it's just sometimes I occasionally post stuff. I've been trying to do a much better job about posting some of the just some different stuff over there. And in case you guys don't know, like, I'm not sure if you've ever seen the movie The Big Lebowski, but it's one of my favorite movies ever. And I always post this meme. I try to remember to do it every single month on the 9th, because there's a little scene in the movie where the dude's his landlord just gets up there and is like, hey, talking about his venue where he's gonna do his little routine. And he's like, oh, and by the way, dude, tomorrow's the 10th. So, and dude said like, and he's like, just slip the money under my door. He's like, oh, all right, far out, man. It's just something that's to me it's really funny. So I always do. I always try to post this little meme that I got that I got saved on my phone. That's hey dude, tomorrow's the 10th. To me, I don't know. It's just something funny. But I hope you're all having a very good day. Let's see. We got Maverick Pilgrim here. Thank you so much. Hero and the Kid and AFK Bard. Maverick Pilgrim says this stream sucks so far. Yeah, I was. Granted, I was probably about 30 seconds to a minute late. I apologize. Happy Friday to you as well, Maverick Pilgrim. Hero and the Kid, good morning. And AFK Bard says good morning as well. And for the love of movies, thank you so much for being here. Make sure Hero and the Kid says, "Shut the fuck up, Donnie." Yes, another great line from the movie. Walter Sobchak. You can't get enough of him. That's one thing that's funny about that movie is, that movie is really just about a relationship. Those guys, they have obviously a really close relationship with each other. They're really just like best friends, and they go out and have misadventures together, and while they're out bowling. Absolutely great stuff. One of my favorite movies of all time. And so yeah, first off, I want to get started with one thing really quick. Once again, yes, we're going to talk about Collider. I know, but I'm not sure if you guys got a chance to check out. Yeah, the Wookiee Supremacy is here. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, so yesterday I was talking about and the whole Collider issue where they've gone and canceled a whole bunch of shows, and then subsequently one of their people, Jack Hind, came out and made some words against other people that used to work for him and stuff like that. It was all kind of messed up. But last night he was actually on the John Campea show yesterday morning, and I'm sure maybe some of you guys actually seen. Oh man, what's going on here? Maybe some of you guys actually seen where. I talked yesterday about he was going to be on the John Campea show, and he went on the John Campea show and really addressed a lot of issues. Now, one thing I wanted to say was, man, I'm not sure if you guys, I've never really seen this guy Marc Fernandez a whole lot, but man, he looked pretty beat up, man. He didn't look like he was having he didn't look like he was having a very good day. He didn't look like he's had a very great week. The holidays have definitely not been kind to this man. But he went on the John Campea show, somebody that he hasn't obviously gotten along with in the past. They've had some problems with each other before, and so he came on the John Campea show yesterday, and they had a really good discussion, just kind of about Collider, some of their personal issues they've had, some of the things I didn't know, like apparently what happened one of the last times was that they were ever actually in the same room together. They actually got into a physical altercation and had to be separated by somebody who is, I don't know if there's a mutual friend at this point, but Christian Harloff, apparently at the ArcLight Cinema down in Hollywood. I won't confess to know a whole lot about it, but they got on and had a pretty good discussion as Marc Fernandez kind of addressed talked to John Campea and addressed even viewers about some of the things going on there. It's something I actually even talked about here on the channel. With regards to Collider, there's a whole bunch of people out there upset at Marc Fernandez and these and canceling these shows. And the thing is like me, I don't understand people being upset about the shows. Shows get canceled all the time. For people to be upset that shows got canceled, absolutely ridiculous. But hey, I mean, I get it. You got your favorite show gets canceled. Hey, you get upset. Fine. That's all fine and dandy. But people seem to be a little bit upset about these shows being canceled, and I get and I understand that. Now, the other thing that he talked about was about Jack Hind, and he kind of set the record straight that no, it's not his second in charge or anything like that. Um, and he kind of talked a little bit about that. And hey, I get it. You kind of got to do some PR for those kinds of things. And something I've talked about here on the channel even is when it comes down to this whole cancel culture and stuff going on, and in our society these days, it's absolutely ridiculous to ask for Jack Hind to be fired. Is it's I mean it's I mean it's no big deal. I mean, what he was being a jerk. I see no reason for him to be fired. Honestly, if he was fired from there, I mean, he'd probably have a tough time, maybe somewhat of a tough time getting a job somewhere else. I mean, fairly quickly to do something after some of the remarks he had made. And there was a very great analogy that John Campea actually made on the show regarding some of that stuff and kind of Mark's words on that for why he didn't let him go. And one of them was this saying that I thought was really good that he brought up from the CEO guy. I think it was of IBM. About this other kid that had worked at IBM and went and made this deal for a whole lot of money. Made the wrong amount of money, and and the guy, the kid's like leaving the office, like, man, I thought you were gonna fire me. He's like, man, I can't fire you. I just spent like $10 million on your education. So just things like that I totally get. Like I said, I'm not for just getting people fired for things they do, things they say, because I mean the guy just went out and made some off base remarks, which was really kind of messed up. So I understand that. I understand people being upset about that, but for people to ask others to lose their jobs is absolutely ridiculous. And one of these other things I wanted to talk about is, with this whole thing, it's time to move on. The decision's been made. The shows are canceled. They didn't do last shows, last hurrahs and all that, and I totally get that. The one thing I will say that I disagree with Marc Fernandez is the fact that he actually kept Jack Hind from going out and issuing apologies, issuing an apology, and to me that was just a stupid mistake. I think it's something that he should have allowed to happen. And the thing is Jack Hind doesn't owe most of us, viewers, which I'm not really a viewer of Collider, but he don't owe the public at large he don't owe them an apology for the remarks he made. He owes those individuals an apology. I think what he owes to the viewers is like, hey, I'm sorry, I was stupid. I don't know what I was thinking, making these remarks about some of the people who had just recently lost their jobs. I apologize to the viewers. I know it's a very unbecoming look on me, and that's and I apologize for that. And I will learn from this and move on. That to me, that's really all he owes the viewers, because I mean, for viewers to be, I mean, we're upset. Anybody that's upset about it would be upset about the remarks that he made about the people that worked for him. It just shows bad leadership. It's a bad look on the company, and that's why I think that Marc Fernandez should have went ahead and let him make those apologies. But again, really, honestly, overall, he don't owe us anything. You know what I mean? He don't owe us anything. The only thing he would really be doing by issuing an apology is kind of saving face and maybe showing a little humility towards the viewing crowd. And I think that's something that is very important in any of those kind of respects. Other than that, hey man, like, people make mistakes. You know what I mean? People make mistakes, and I think that's one thing why he should have let him make those apologies, is because people do make mistakes. And sometimes we got to own up to them. People got to see us own up to them. It shows our humility and things like that. So hopefully maybe people can move on, because we've all done dumb shit in our lives. We've done stupid stuff. I can guarantee you every single person on this stream, or anybody person out in the world, has made a mistake in their life that they regret doing. And I think it would have been a good thing for him to allow him to maybe issue somewhat of a public apology. But I don't know, that's just me. Let me know what you guys think about that down in the comments below. And speaking of making mistakes, that reminds me of another one. I know this is one, probably going to get me a lot of dislikes about this stuff too. But I know not too long ago, even Matt Jarbo had made some mistakes. I'm not sure if you guys know Mundane Matt or Three Buck Theater. He had made some mistakes and been called out on them publicly here on YouTube as well. And and the thing is people still hold these kinds of things against him. You know what I mean? And the thing I want to say to anybody out there who's watching this that don't like Matt Jarbo or any of the things that he said or done, one thing I've got to say, guys, is we all mess up. We all make mistakes. We all do stupid stuff. We've all, maybe not everybody has done things in the heat of the moment, but we've certainly all made mistakes. And when it comes to these things, like people holding this stuff against Matt Jarbo, like, guys, come on, man, just let it go. You know what I mean? We all make mistakes. We all do dumb stuff. Just move on. He done something stupid. We've all done something stupid. He apologized for it. He's tried to move on for it, but unfortunately, there are people out there who want to hold on to these kinds of things and just call them all kinds of names and stuff like that. It's the same kind of thing with this Jack Hines situation. Learn some humility, people. Learn to forgive people. Learn to forgive one another. Especially, come on, guys. We started a new year. Can we start it off on the right foot? There's so much discourse out there in the world already. We're getting ready to enter the election cycle. Just so much crap getting ready to go on. It's just time to move on. It's just time to move on. Just let it go. It's okay. We don't always have to hold on to these things. Sometimes when we hold on to these things, it can be a very bad thing for us. So, anyway, that's enough of that. I'm going to go ahead and get here into the chat and say good morning to everybody. I see we got a lot of people here. Let's see. We got, like I said, we got Maverick Pilgrim, Hero and the Kid, AFK Bard, For the Love of Movies, which is a young man named Kobe. You guys should go check out his channel. Very, very good kid doing movie reviews. Wookiee Supremacy, the Comics Club. Thank you so much for being here. Been very supportive over on Facebook. The Comics Club have, and you guys should make sure that you go check out his channel as well. One thing that he does over there, some people may not like, is they actually take old comic books and they shred them and they put them in like these little boxes and then they sell them, and all the proceeds from that go towards I think it's St. Jude's. They have a charity that they donate all that money to. So you guys should make sure you go over and check out the Comics Club. Good stuff. Marquise Roberts, thank you so much for being here. Says Beta Ray Cosby puts a roofie in Jane Foster's chalice. Oh man, yeah, you're terrible, Marquise. That's funny. Kenneth Cullen, thank you so much for being here. I hope you're having a very good day. You know what? And something else I want to say before I move on is, guys, don't forget that tonight, make sure you're subscribed and click that little bell so you get notifications, because tonight is the Trailer Park Live at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Now, in case you guys don't know what that is, that's where I start off talking a little bit about comic books, and then I get into some of the different topics that have kind of happened throughout the week. It's a little more R-rated. I kind of cut loose and show you guys a little bit more of me. And tonight is going to be a very interesting episode after some things that happened yesterday. Yeah, who might I have to say something to today? Yeah, people want to show me attention. You know what? I'm going to give it right back to them. But not only that, today is actually, well, somewhat, I mean, it would technically be on the 11th of January, is the 1-year anniversary of the Trailer Park Live. That's right. 1 year ago, I actually started doing this stream, and I have done it consistently for you guys every single Friday at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time since last year at this time. And thank you all so much for being here. As a matter of fact, I was thinking that at first, when I first started, there was nobody watching my show on the Trailer Park Live, but I went back and I watched that first show, and you know what? I actually had a celebrity in the building that day. Professor Bill from Comic Book University was actually on that very first stream that I did. And I remember being quite surprised now that I look back, when I went back and looked back at it, I was like, oh yeah, Professor Bill was there. Completely forgot. So yeah, make sure you guys check that out. LB from the Lonely Banter says, I am here. Thank you so much for being here, LB. Loved your live stream last night, man. Always keeping it real, bro. Always keeping it real. AFK Bart says, yeah, it was Sock'em Bopper talk. Felt like John was going easy on the poor guy. Yeah, and you know what? It looked like he was having a bad time. It looks like he's had a rough week. And, and I don't think that John was going to invite him onto his show and just sit there and just beat him up. I think he was trying to get him on an open forum where he could kind of question him and get some real answers for people, because the stream that Marc Fernandez did, while it wasn't that bad, it really didn't go that well for him. and I think it was a pretty good discussion. Um, Kenneth Colan says, "Happy Friday, everyone." Yeah, and in case you guys don't know, Kenneth Colan is actually the head of the social media management over at the Den of Nerds, one of my favorite channels. You guys can go check him out on Twitter and even Instagram. I'm not sure. I'm sure he's on Facebook as well. But yeah, make sure you go check out the Den of Nerds. Go follow Kenneth Colan. He's a good guy. Gracefully Relaxing says, "I'm starting to suspect he watches Collider more than he lets on." I've actually watched two shows. I watched two shows, and that was when Josh from the Den of Nerds was on there on the Jedi Order. Is that what the name of the show was? And then the other time I watched it was just the other day when Marc Fernandez actually went out there and publicly addressed this whole situation. Wookiee Supremacy says, "I don't watch any of that crap." Hey, that's perfectly fine, dude. I totally get it. AFK Bart says, "Outrage culture. You said something mean to that guy. Say sorry to me." Right. Biden Touch, thank you so much for being here. Two Brothers Comics says, "John Campea is brilliant." Yeah, I certainly watch his show every day. This show was kind of inspired by John Campea, and by the John Campea show, because I know there's a lot of people out there who don't like John Campea. Of course, I'm not as good because I don't chase all of the, have all the quite the engagement that he has. I mean, I do with awesome people like you, but it is slowly growing, and I greatly appreciate all of you being here. But I realize that not a whole lot of people like the John Campea show, so that's kind of why I started this, and that's why I try to keep it about an hour, so then I can get on and watch the Campea show, because I really do like, say like the first half of his morning show when he's on there talking about stuff, and he has like Robert Meyer Burnett on there, who those guys play really well off each other. It's something I've actually been looking for here on my channel, is to get maybe a co-host to help me with this show, to help me carry the show, because you know what, me by myself, I'm not that great. I'm not that great. Wookiee Supremacy says, "That guy is a moron." Maverick Pilgrim says, "Who's John Campea?" Funny. Fanjecture, thank you so much for being here. Again, guys, make sure if you're here, make sure you go check out Fanjecture's channel. They're doing some really interactive stuff over there on their channel, live streams, very fun stuff. I think you guys should make sure that you go over and check out their channel and get involved with them, because it's something I'm going to do. Apparently, my friend Ryan over at Nerdy Blurb TV has been talking with them as well. Make sure you guys get on over there, follow them, get on their channel, be ready, hit your notifications so you can check out when they're getting ready to go live, because they're doing some fun stuff over there, and I want to get involved in that. Wookiee Supremacy says, "Screw that guy." Kenneth Cohen says he probably didn't want Jack to accidentally dig himself further in a hole. Yeah, and that's something, they could always, kind of say, okay, he's going to go out and make this apology. The ultimate thing to me is just go out there and be yourself and be genuine. That's the most important part. You don't have to mention Collider. You don't have to mention any of that stuff. Just go out there and just kind of do what you feel is right in your heart. Cousin Angel of Yonkers, thank you for being here. Says, I kind of think that Doctor Strange deserves better than Scott Derrickson, but that's just me. I hear some people complaining, comparing it to Edgar Wright. I agree that Edgar Wright was a huge loss, but not Scott. I'll agree with you there, and we'll get right into that here in just a minute, Cousin Angel of Yonkers. Lonely Banter says, "Only mistake I made in life is not coming across you earlier in life." Thank you, LB. Thank you. I do greatly appreciate that. And I feel the same way, man. LB is definitely one of my favorite content creators here on YouTube. Just a great guy. Always keeping it real, man. Always keeping it real. And you know what? I feel for the guy because he's lonely. Maverick Pilgrim says, I was highlighting the level of John Campea's influence in my life. AFK Bart says, "I made a real mud pie when I was in elementary school and tricked a neighbor kid to eating it. I was a biatch." That's funny. Cousin Angel of Yonkers says, "Jordan Peele is a great replacement for Scott Derrickson." Ooh, you know what? That's a very good suggestion. I like that. I like that idea. But does Jordan Peele want to make that movie? He actually went out there and said that he would never make a movie that has a white man in the lead, or a white people in the lead. And I get it, and I get his understanding, his reasons why. And a lot of people were upset when he made those comments. But I think in the context of what he was saying, I understood what he meant, and also I think he was being a little funny at the same time too. But that would be a great choice. That would be a great choice. I mean, it would be great to see him come in and do something like that, because I do like Jordan Peele's work. I'm True Skills. Thank you so much for being here. Can't wait to watch another one of your reviews. Two Brothers Comics says, "Always be kind." Absolutely, always be kind. Even when you probably shouldn't be. Do your best to be, or at least turn the other way, man. Just turn around. Just break the wrist, walk away. Break the wrist, walk away. What movie is that from? I love John. Aggressively relaxing says, I love John Campea. We wouldn't have RLM's nerd crew without him. I'm not sure which one RLM is, but yeah, I like John Campea. I like his show. Cousin Angel of Yonkers, hey, Sam Raimi is another great replacement for Scott. Absolutely. You will not see me disagree with you there whatsoever. Um, Aggressively says, I could dig that idea, Yonkers. Yeah. Anime Killer says, hi. Are you secretly perp? I'm just kidding. If Anime Killer, if you're still here and you're not subscribed to Perp Minded, you should go check out his channel because it looks like you're into anime and Perp definitely is. Zulu Entertainment says Scott is going to be the executive producer, right? Yes, he is. Hero and the Kid says, so back to comics. Have you heard the Marked and Sonata by Image have a cool feature using augmented reality app? Just learned this. Pretty cool. I'll have to check that out. I read the Marked issue #1. I thought it was interesting. It was okay. It didn't quite grab my interests, but I have wanted to go and review the latest two books that they put out there because I think they're on issue 3 right now. I've been interested in going and checking that out. Cousin Angel says, aggressively relaxing. Yeah. AFK Bard says, congrats, man. Thank you. Aggressively relaxing says, I am destroying every copy of this issue. This one issue of Fantastic Four. One day, it will be a key because I made scarce, and then I'll sell my stockpile for a profit. I hear you aggressively. Cousin Angel of Yonkers says, actually, Sam Raimi would be a hella dope for Doctor Strange 2. Absolutely. Anime Killer says, you talking so much. Yeah, I know. Sometimes I just start flapping my gums and I can't stop. Kenneth Coleman says, Anime Killer is talking so much. Bruh, it's a live stream. What did you expect? Right? Sometimes I talk a little too fast, though. I understand. I get it. AFK Bard says, I like all your stuff, man. I don't even read comics. Well, thank you. I think this weekend I'm going to see if I can get together with a couple people, and we're going to talk about some X-Men, some of the X-Men books that are coming out. Max Santiago, thank you so much for being here. Hey, man, I seen you on Campea yesterday as well. Cousin Angel says, not a Campea fan, but not a Campea hater. Yeah, I mean, there's too much hate in the world. There's no, and I'm sure, he has enough haters. No need to hate on people, Two Brothers Comics says, you can't argue with what Campea, has built, though. Absolutely not. Go to his channel, look at the engaged audience he has. You see a lot of the same people there in his chats every single day. It's really cool. Social Introvert TV says, hey, man, how are you doing, Social Introvert TV? I hope you're having a very good day, and I hope you're all having a good Friday. Biden Touch says, we've all made mistakes. I like taking a date to an Adam Sandler film. Right? Kenneth Coleman says, Napoleon Dynamite, of course. Yes. Two Brothers, Napoleon. Yep. Everybody's got it. Wookiee Supremacy says, can you imagine if any director said that he wouldn't make a film with black people? Yeah, well, absolutely. I totally understand you. The thing is I think a lot of it is context to where he was saying it and what the demeanor in which he was saying it. Now, the thing is like he was actually serious when he said it. But the reason why he said it, he kind of explained it is he's like, I don't want to, like the movies he's making, I don't want to do that because I've already seen that film, and the films that he's made, I completely agree 100%. But I do completely agree with you there, Wookiee Supremacy. I do agree with you there with what he said. AFK Bar says, "Oops, keyboard fell." Red Letter Media. Oh yeah, I need to go check out some of their videos. I'm subscribed to them, but I need to go check some of them out because some of those things, some of those videos they do are great. Vanjexter says Scott will be the executive producer, but that's just title only, contractual obligations. And yeah, that would probably be because he, for the most part, will be writing the movie. He possibly because he did the first one and things like that as well. Captain Pennsylvania, welcome. Mark's got much better. Pretty interesting concept for a book, says Two Brothers Comics. Nice. Okay, I'll have to check that out. Let's see. Biden Touch says RLM is probably the only huge channel I follow. Okay, Red Letter Media. That's what you. Okay, RLM. Got it. Social Introvert TV says, aren't you monetized now? I forgot to say congrats. Yes, I am. Thank you so much. And thank you so much, Social Introvert. I appreciate that. Perp Minded. There he is. See, that's what I was saying. If in case you're still here, anime. What is it? Anime fan. Anime Killer. There's the guy you need to go follow right there. Perp Minded. Make sure you go check out his channel. Perp, feel free to drop your link to your channel here in the chats. So in case anybody wants to go check out your content, especially Anime Killer up there. Of course, he's killing anime, so I'm not sure if he wants to, if he likes anime or not. Let's see. Maverick Pilgrim says, sorry I'm in and out of the stream, busy morning at work. Hey, no problem. I completely understand. The CJH, hello there. How are you doing this morning? Two Brothers Comics says, all right, man, back to work. Really been enjoying your streams and seeing your stuff pop up from Disco. Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you for being here once again. Biden Touch says, I never disliked or liked Campea, pretty much familiar only because so many others discuss him. Yeah, and I like his show because, like I said, the first half of it is really great when you get him and Robert Meyer Burnett there together. They also have the host, Erin Cummings, or she's one of the co-hosts, actually. Erin Cummings comes on there. And then I guess the other young lady, who's the other young lady? I can't remember her name. She hasn't been on there so far this year. Probably just busy with stuff. But I like seeing them all get to on there together to kind of mix it up. Wookiee Supremacy says, anytime you hear something about whites, switch it to any other color and ask yourself if it sounds racist. If it does, it always does. It always does. Oh yeah, absolutely. I completely hear you. I completely understand your Wookiee Supremacy. Okay, so now moving on to the next thing I want to talk about is obviously we've already kind of been discussing that here, and that is the Doctor Strange 2 director Scott Derrickson departing with the production of Doctor Strange 2 and the Multiverse of Madness. This is something that I don't know, kind of comes out of the blue, really. And one thing before I move on, for one, I want to let you all know that there are some links down in the description where you can send direct donations here to the channel, or you can even become a monthly Patreon supporter, which I greatly appreciate all of those. And all of my live streams are brought to you by my lovely and awesome and wonderful Patreon supporters. All these people have chosen to donate their hard-earned dollars to the channel, and I do greatly appreciate that. And all of these names here that you can find are just wonderful supporters here of the channel. I do greatly appreciate it. And if you are a Patreon supporter out there, make sure that you go check out the Patreon channel, because I did just drop a video over there for you guys just earlier this week, kind of discussing some things about, just about the channel and some of the things that I want to do here with the channel. So again, thank you all so much for being so supportive in that way. So yes, Scott Derrickson did kind of out of the blue. This news came yesterday. As a matter of fact, I didn't actually hear about it until I was on LB's stream yesterday. LB over at the Lonely Banter, he did a very great stream. A lot of it, he did Lonely with Friends last night, and those are always fun to get on there and interact with the audience that he has on there. You should make sure that you go subscribe to his channel. LB, if you're still here, feel free to drop your link down in the description or down in the comments there as well, so people can go check you out. So yeah, Scott Derrickson is departing this movie as a director, but in case, like you guys have said and noticed, is he is still being kept on as an executive producer. And so, I mean, altogether, I mean, obviously they're getting ready to go into production right now, which it seems like they're going to have somewhat of a small production window, which is perfectly fine, because we can see that Marvel has put in a lot of time and investments in probably building up their catalog of these films and the people that work on them. So I think they're getting a lot better at what they're doing when it comes to the pre-production and post-production of these films. Now, this film, a lot of people have been out there largely saying that this movie is going to be a horror flick, and that's not exactly what Kevin Feige said last year during the summer during San Diego Comic-Con. He actually said it will be the first into doing something scary, and scary isn't necessarily horror. But I've got to tell you, for the most part, a lot of the horror films I've watched lately aren't scary. So there's something of a meddling of words there for one. So I don't think it was ever intended to be a horror flick. But when it comes to scary, what exactly do they mean? Because like I said, I haven't seen a scary horror movie in a long time. I mean, it takes a lot to scare, and if you're relying on jump scares and stuff like that, to me that's just cheap theatrics, and that's where a lot of horror films kind of fail at, in doing all those jump scares and stuff like that. It's like, okay, like you didn't really scare me. You wanna scare me? Go do the show Phantasmic at Disneyland, and all of a sudden I'm paying attention to the show, and then the cannon goes off when they bring in the Peter Pan ship, or actually they switched it up now. It's the Pirates of the Caribbean. That always takes me by surprise because I'm watching the pretty boats go by. I'm like, ah, and it's like, I'm like, whoa, man, you got me. That wasn't even scary. So yeah, there's been a lot of talk about it going to be a scary flick, which would play really well to the lend really well to the work that Scott Derrickson does. That's kind of what his background, where he comes from. But who's going to be next? Who's going to be next to take over the mantle here? We've already had some good suggestions here in the comment section. But you know what? Hey, let me propose somebody. How about they bring in the Russo brothers, right? How about they bring in the Russo brothers? What do you guys think about that? Everybody seems to want the Russo brothers to keep coming back and all of those kinds of things, The Russo brothers, we need the Russo brothers, right? No. For one, I like the Russo brothers. I like the work that they have done with the movies that they have directed. Obviously, they came in and did the last two Captain America films, and then they did the last two Avengers films. They are great directors, but I'm ready to see them go on and do something else in their career before they come back to Marvel and do another MCU movie, if they do at all. I, I, I honestly wouldn't want to see that. But who else could they possibly bring on? I was sitting there thinking when I was like, and I've talked a lot about them, is the Saska sisters. They need to get one of these days somebody's going to give these ladies a big budget movie to come in and do. And they are horror film directors and they do really good with their work. But the thing is I was thinking, well, I'm only thinking that because they were saying that this movie is supposed to be scary. But if they want to go that route, I think those are the ladies they should bring on to direct it. They're absolutely great filmmakers. You should go check out the remake they just did. It's available on video on demand, or on February 4th, it will be available on DVD, on physical media, where you could go check that out. But it is Rabid, remake of a 1977 David Cronenberg classic that actually had porn star Marilyn Chambers in it. You get to see her boobies. But yeah, I think she would be great. But already we've had some great. We've already had some great directors already suggested here in the chats. Did I just see that? The Coen brothers need to do a Marvel movie. That would be great, Wookiee Supremacy. That would be absolutely great. I'm not sure what they do matches with the MCU, and I think that's why that's all the better. I think that's why that would be all the better to bring somebody like them in. But yeah, we've already had suggestions like Jordan Peele, which I think would be a great suggestion. Sam Raimi would be another good one, though I'm not for sure that Sam Raimi would really want to come in and do something like that. Obviously we know kind of what happened with him and Sony when they were doing Spider-Man 3, and some of those, and apparently with Scott Derrickson leaving this film over creative differences. I think that has something to me that's a shining light out there for any director who wants to have their creative input. Now I think some of that might have to do with Kevin Feige himself in saying that, okay, like, I don't mind if you do this, but I absolutely need this to happen in a movie, and I need you not to do this. And maybe that's where some of those creative differences came in at for this movie. Is maybe there was things that Kevin Feige didn't want done in this movie that Scott Derrickson wanted to do and felt needed to be done in this film. But I mean, let me know, like, what down in the comments, what do you guys think these creative differences are that they had? What do you think that those are, that they had those creative differences there? Let me know what you think about that down in the comments below. Thank you. Now, guys, the one thing I do want to say, obviously, super chats are there. You can feel free to super chat if you want to. You don't have to do that. There is the direct donation link. But if there's a comment here in the comment section you absolutely want me to read, with so many of you guys here, make sure that you at 2nd Street Marvel, so it kind of highlights it there in the chat, so I can see what you guys are saying there. I'm gonna go ahead and get in here and see what you guys think about some of these things here in the channel. Eli Gray says, love the channel and the positivity. Thank you so much, Eli Gray. Thank you so much for being here. I'm not sure that I've seen you here before, but hey, welcome. And if you're not already, make sure you're subscribed and all that stuff. I appreciate it, and thank you for your kind words. I do what I can, to try to remain positive, because you know what, there's so much negativity out there in the world, man. Like, I don't need to add to that. And believe me when I say, I easily could. Perp Minded says, I appreciate that 100%. No problem, Perp. No problem, dude. Because like you were saying the other day, more people need to watch anime, and more people, you need to reach out to more of those people. And if you guys like anime, make sure you go check out Perp Minded's videos. He definitely, this is a man that definitely loves his anime. But be careful because he was exposed yesterday over on SSJK. Sanctum livestream the other day. This guy works for Marvel Studios. We're on to you. Who are you? Are you really Victoria Alonso? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Well, I don't know. She might have a deep voice like yours. Fanjexer says, you know who would crush directing an MCU movie? Maybe even Doctor Strange? Ben Affleck. I like that idea. I do like that idea. That'd be a good one, especially because you know what? I didn't get enough Batfleck. You know what I'm saying? I was a fan of Ben Affleck being Batman. Loved his suit. I thought he fit the thing, the suit and everything really good. I mean, I think he's a good actor and everything as well, and he is a good director. You're not right. You're not wrong there, Fanjextra. Absolutely, Ben Affleck would be another great person to bring in to do that as well. Definitely. And didn't he directed Gone Girl? Didn't he? Didn't he direct Gone Girl, which was an absolutely great movie? I love Gone Girl. That's a good movie. Um, I need to go buy that one. But yeah, Ben Affleck would be definitely a great addition to bring on to direct that movie. AFK Bart, since I'm newish, I gotta ask: were you big on comic cartoons in the '90s and so forth? I never had the money or access to get comics, but I grew up learning about the heroes on TV. For the most part, yeah. I mean, I grew up watching some of those, like the old X-Men series. I definitely like that. Some of the Spider-Man ones. So I definitely did like a lot of those cartoons throughout the 90s, but throughout the 90s too was pretty much my teen years and everything like that. So I wouldn't say that I grew out of it at that time, but I started getting more focused just on other things as well. One of the things I absolutely loved doing when I was a teenager is going skating. Me and my friends, man, we used to run the skating rink, man. Like literally, like we kind of actually we worked there for quite a while, and you know. We were there quite often, but yeah, I do remember watching the X-Men cartoons and everything, and I want to get spend some time to get on Disney Plus and watch a lot of those shows again, just kind of refresh and everything. I watched a couple of the X-Men episodes, really great stuff, and a little bit different than I remember. You know what I mean? When you're a kid, you remember it, thinking back on it, and then now I watch it, I'm like, this is a little bit different than I remember. Captain Pennsylvania says he's not bad at all. Yeah. Eli Gray says, subscribe to you when I saw you were completely subjective and recognize that Campea is genuine and inspires so many. Yeah, like I said, I like the John Campea show. I get why people don't like his show and don't like him and stuff like that. A lot of people out there, like to call him a shill and all that stuff. Hey, man, you feel how you feel about him. But I think he's really good. I like the fact that he does have a great community and just some of the things that he does on his show with his movie talk. Like I said, I'm somewhat inspired by John Campea in doing this show because I know there's a whole lot of people out there who don't like John Campea. So that's why I kind of started this, and I like to keep it to end it right about 9 o'clock so I can always get on there and hop on and watch his show. And again, thank you, Eli Gray, for being here. Just get Ron Howard to do it. Maverick Pilgrim, that's funny. Ron Howard seems to be the go-to guy over there at Disney to get him to come in and finish movies, right? Hashtag release the Lord Miller cut. Captain Pennsylvania says, you can stream comics for free now. Yeah, you can. You certainly can. Sorry for getting heavy, everyone. I'm done preaching. You're good, Wookie. It's all good. Your criticisms and your thoughts and things like that are completely welcome here. No problem, man. Absolutely no problem with that. Captain Pennsylvania says, I'm available for director too. There you go. Eli Gray says, you should get an awesome Spider-Man 2099 poster for that wall. Let me see. Might you mean something? Let me see. Maybe. Let's see, where are we at? Is this it? Maybe something like that? Maybe something like that. Something like that? I'm guessing that's what you're talking about, Eli. Yeah, I probably should get... Wait, what? Yeah, I just haven't taken the time. I've actually been thinking about going through and kind of reconfiguring my room, moving things around a little bit. You know how we always kind of got to keep things fresh. So yeah, eventually I will get that up and switch out some of these posters. Like maybe that's a spider ghost spider one right there will go bye bye. The Death's Head, that's probably going to go bye bye. Some of these others, you know, probably end up moving some things around. You know what? You know what else I want to get? I want to get a. I want to get like a different Black Widow poster as well. Maybe see if I can find one for the No Restraints play. I would like to do that. Lonely Banter says, I am still here. Awesome. Thank you so much for being here. Wookiee Supremacy says, I really like the Spider-Man poster immediately right of Trinity's head. Oh, yeah, that one right there. Yeah, that one's a great poster. I love that one, too. Matter of fact, that's a new series that just came out. This is from the old, or it's from the old series that came out last year called Symbiote Spider-Man. They just did another one called Symbiote Spider-Man Alien Reality. Written by, it's got the same writer, same art team and everything. So the art looks just like that still. It's a great book. Like issue number 1 started off with a bang. Issue number 2 just released this week, and I cannot wait to read it. I haven't got a chance to read it yet, but I got all my indie books read first. Eli Gray says it's going to be tied to Scarlet Witch and Vision. Absolutely. Yeah, that Doctor Strange movie. I can't wait to. I can't wait to see it. You know, I've got some theories about things going on with some of these shows and exactly how they might tie together. You know, I've talked about like Black Widow and Falcon and Winter Soldier and how they're going to tie together, and it doesn't seem like I see many people talking about that movie and that show and how they tie together. If you watch my Trailer Park Live from 2 weeks ago when I was out on vacation, one thing that I had suggested was with Black Widow, you know, about her not being dead and that's why Hulk couldn't bring her back. But also, what does she have to do with the Falcon and Winter Soldier TV series, which is getting ready to come out soon after the Black Widow movie comes out at the theater? Well, there are some connections. I think there's definitely some connections here going on with that as far as this, because if you go back and you watch Captain America Winter Soldier, she actually, you know, I wonder what her ties are to Sam Wilson. Does she have anything to do with the mission in the Khalid Kandil mission? If you don't know what the Khalid Kandil mission is, you should go back and watch Winter Soldier. She makes mention of it, where it's the mission in which they went into they went in they went in and they were extracting somebody out of a war zone, and there were so many RPGs that they couldn't even get a helicopter in or out of there. And this is something that Natasha Romanoff made allusions to in that movie when she was talking to Sam Wilson when he first showed them the EXO project where he's got his Falcon wings, right? Where he lost his buddy Riley. I don't hear anybody talking about this. Did people skip over this part in the movie? Did Black Widow have anything to do with all those RPGs being set off? Did she have anything to do with Riley dying, getting shot out of the air? I don't know. I don't know. I think she could, because again, this is something I haven't heard many people make mention of. When it comes to these kinds of things, and all obviously, you know, that's what she does. She's a spy. She actually, you know, in the same movie, she makes reference to being basically there in the Middle East on a mission to extract somebody else out of some enemy territory as well. And what did the Winter Soldier do? He shot her through. He shot her through through her hip to kill the person that she was trying to get out of there. You know, now she can't wear bikinis, right? So, you know, there's like she was there, so we know that she was there kind of in that same area, possibly around that same time. Possibly around that same time. So it's very interesting, some of these connections, and I don't hear a whole lot of people talking about those. Where, you know, that's kind of what her job is, and that's something else. You know, I keep seeing people out there when they're talking and breaking down some of these trailers, talking about, especially when it was between Endgame and Infinity War, people are talking about, oh, look in the trailer, look at her hair length, it's different lengths and it's styled differently and stuff like this, and that's like the weakest argument ever. Because she's a master of disguise. She's a spy. That's what her job is to do. Her job is to do that. So sometimes I think some of those comparisons were a little bit ridiculous. Like she's known for changing her hair. That's what she does. But yeah, definitely some things going on there with that. And also, you know, we know with the Falcon and Winter Soldier series, a lot of people are talking about, Sam Wilson becoming Captain America. No, that's just wrong. He shouldn't be in this and that. And I get it. I completely get it. But the one thing the one argument I've come up with is who says he's going to be Captain America? I don't think that. Will he become Captain America? Let me know what you think down in the comments below. I actually think that he might become Captain America, but I think, the name of the show is Falcon and Winter Soldier, not Captain America and Winter Soldier. I think what it's probably going to deal with, a lot of this TV show is going to deal with his basically what happened in Sam Wilson Captain America, the comic book series. Is I think it's going to be him, being held the shield to become the next Captain America, and it's going to deal a lot with his struggles in becoming the new, the replacement for Captain America, and a lot of those struggles that he goes through. And those kinds of things. And I think maybe by the end of this, the first series or the first season, if they don't continue this, I think by the end he might actually take up the mantle, and then maybe the next movie that he's in, like maybe it's going to be the next Captain America movie, will be where he actually goes and hands the shield back to Steve Rogers. Ooh, what do you think about that? Also, the reason I feel that is because I've actually long predicted here on the show that the next Captain Marvel movie will be Captain Marvel Civil War 2. And all of this ties in together only because then what follows right after Civil War 2? Secret Empire. And Secret Empire is, I think, something that's going to be needed by the time that movie would come out. I think it's something that's going to be needed in the MCU so they can do a soft reboot of these characters, because that's kind of what the Secret Empire did in the Marvel Universe, is where they could actually go back and they could do a soft reboot of a lot of these characters. We could get Chris Evans could actually once again finally step out of being Captain America, step out of the role, and they could still bring in a new Steve Rogers into the fray, into the MCU, so they could get somebody younger again and bring us a new Captain America, so they can keep that character ongoing without killing him, and without getting Chris Evans out of there in a sensible manner. I think it's something that very well could be done, but that's just if you ask me. Plus, it brings back Robert Downey Jr. as well, in a role in which they could do the exact same thing. I don't know, but let me know what you guys think about that. Fanjexter says, don't forget, just because we are hearing about Scott leaving now, doesn't mean it just happened. I'm sure this all went down a couple of months ago. I have no doubt they already have a director lined up. Agreed, 100%. We are just hearing about it now, and that's one thing. They've probably kind of been going through this little arm wrestling match for a little while. And also, I mean, if they're having creative differences, obviously these creative differences are going somewhat happening during pre-production, and I believe you're absolutely right, Fanjexter. And again, you guys should go check out Fanjexter's channel, very good channel, doing some interactive things over there for their audience members. I believe he's been doing live streams on Tuesday evenings, so make sure you go and check that out. I definitely want to become a part of what he's doing over there. Although I do have other obligations that I do on Tuesdays. I am part of the Dark Council that we do over on Drunk 3PO's channel. We get together and have a lot of fun just discussing some of the topics going on out there in the world. If you guys don't subscribe to Drunk 3PO, you should make sure you go check out his channel. He talks a lot about Star Wars, but Drunk 3PO is he's just a cool dude, man. Pretty easygoing dude. He likes to laugh and have a good time. You should go check out his channel. But again, just like all of us, his content isn't for everybody. So hey, I get it if you go there and you don't like his stuff. Hey, it's all good. Different strokes for different folks. Maverick Pilgrim says, horror as an actual genre is so much more than scary. Absolutely. And that's why I think I've come around to the fact that the Soska sisters and what they've done is they do horror films, but they do body horror. And I think that's something I've come to find out, that's some a genre of the horror genre that I really do like. Because I like the goriness, the guts, the blood, and the whole David Cronenberg aspect of things. Absolutely great. Matter of fact, I seen on Twitter the other day, yesterday. I'm not sure if you guys follow TC Does Comics. He's here on YouTube as well, but I seen him post on Twitter like about The Fly and how it gives him the creeps and everything. And I'm like, dude, I'm not sure which one you're talking about. If you're talking about the original from was it the 50s or the 60s, which that movie creeped me out as a kid as well. But that one with Jeff Goldblum, directed by David Cronenberg, I think it was from I want to say it's like around 84, 85. That movie, man. Yeah, that movie was crazy. But I think that's one thing I like is I think I like the body horror flicks. That's something I think I definitely like, and that's certainly something I've liked about the new run, or I guess the run of X Force that's going on right now. Absolutely great because it seems like it's a body horror tale and just like some crazy gory things going on. Like every single book has something that has to do with like body horror and just being gory and stuff like that. Absolutely love it. But yeah, I agree, Maverick Pilgrim. You're absolutely right. Um, Eli Gray says, I bet Wanda is going to break reality like in the comics. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I think we were talking a little bit about that yesterday too. All like House of M style. Certainly, certainly. And maybe that's how the mutants will become, will get created. Although I do have some other theories kind of revolving around that as well. Pert Minded says, watch Midsummer or Hereditary. That shit will haunt you. I need to watch those. I've heard both of those movies are great. Maverick Pilgrim says, being startled isn't scary and isn't horror either. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, because I remember, you go watch, like, Independence Day. Remember, the alien jumps onto the screen and everything. You're like, whoa, whoa. Not a scary movie, though. Eli Gray says, if New Mutants is good, let Josh Boone do it. Hey, you know what? That's a great suggestion, Eli Gray. That would be a good idea. Bring Josh Boone on there to do that because it looks like the angle they're taking with the New Mutants movie is they're going back to his original vision, which I believe we were talking about yesterday. That would be a great idea because we see kind of what he did there. That would be a very good suggestion. Okay, now I'm a little behind here on the chat, so we're going to go ahead and skip ahead on the chat here and get to see where everybody's at here. Let's see. Don Draper, thank you so much for being here. Um, let's see. Maverick Pilgrim says, I was in a comic shop and totally forgot to check out at Cap. Oh, let me see. I must have missed something there by that Cap said. Don Draper says, belated congratulations for hitting over 1K subscribers. Thank you, Don. Thank you. And thank you so much for being here. Thank you. I greatly appreciate that. And thank you for your kind words. Yeah, man, it's been quite a haul over this last year. Um, Maverick Pilgrim says, I was with my daughter, so we were mostly looking in the kids section. You know what? As a matter of fact, while we're here talking about that Maverick Pilgrim, I'm not sure how old your kids are. I'm guessing they're a little bit younger. My oldest is 9 years old, but I started reading this series, this one right here, Shapes. This is on Cave Pictures Publishing. It's actually a pretty good book. Definitely something a little more kid oriented, and it has to do with this gaming. If your kids are into gaming or anything like that, something definitely be good for the kids. I just dropped a review of issue number 1 here recently that I shot back clear in like December. It might have been November when I shot it. Eli Gray says it's quite possible Cap saved Natasha on his returning the gems journey, which is why Banner couldn't find her. Yeah, and exactly, and that's one of the things like I was arguing too, and I have other reasons too. Not only that, but let's not forget some other things that happened in Avengers Endgame as well that could have had to do with that. Could have had to do with that, and maybe the reason that he couldn't bring her back from the dead is because she wasn't dead. And recently in the comics, Natasha was reborn in the Red Room as a clone of herself with implanted memories. So, I mean, absolutely, yeah, and I think that's why Banner. To me, that's the biggest reason why I think that Banner couldn't bring her back is because she wasn't dead. Maverick Pilgrim says not a lot of Conan for under tens. Yeah, right. Oh, that would be crazy. Um, let's see. Don Draper says I would have loved to see Noah Hawley's Doctor Doom movie. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, Don Draper. Absolutely. And Biden Tess says, Don Draper, oh, that was something that almost happened. Yeah, yeah, that was something that almost happened. That would have been good. That would have been great. Eli Gray says, comics say if you're snapped, you're in the Soul Stone. Right. Yeah. Agreed. But yeah, like I said, I think we're all kind of going around the same thing here. That maybe there's a little more play with that. Eli says, I have a feeling Gamora and new Gamora's souls will merge. Yeah, they could. They could. It's really hard to say. And he also says, I'm ready for Kate Bishop Hawkeye. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm not really like a big Hawkeye fan or anything, but kind of what they've set up and everything here going into the MCU, I think it'll be interesting to see what's going on with that. Maverick Pilgrim says that could be Eli. I kind of feel like her. Or that could be Eli. I kind of feel like her in the Soul Stone when he touched on the Black Widow movie. Yeah, exactly. Could be post credit for sure. Oh yeah, definitely. Don Draper says at Biden Touch, yeah, he was working on it and he worked well with Fox. Fargo and Legion were on FX. Then the acquisition. Right. Yeah. Agreed. Yeah, that would have been great to see Noah Hawley's version of that. Definitely. Captain Pennsylvania says he will be eventually, but the government wants John Walker as Cap for now. Absolutely, yeah. U.S. agent, completely, and we already know that he's going to be part of that Falcon and Winter Soldier series, and I think there actually has something to do with all of that. I think it all kind of ties together. I think Natasha Romanoff has something to do with that as far as John Walker is concerned. I also think that she has something to do with like the super soldier kind of serum and all that kind of stuff. Absolutely 100%. And I think that's kind of what we're going to be learning about in this movie, in the Black Widow movie, and how it ties into the Falcon and Winter Soldier series. 100%. Wookiee Supremacy says, I've never cared about Captain Sucker Punch. The Red Skull should have won. Well, in a roundabout way, the Red Skull did win because Arnim Zola actually went on to infiltrate Shield, and pretty much Tony Stark. Tony Stark is pretty much riding on the coattails of all of Dr. Arnim Zola's work. Hail Hydra. And I actually hashtag the Stark Sham. Actually, go here on YouTube, type in hashtag the Stark Sham, and it'll bring you a video that I did not too long ago. Okay, it was actually a year ago almost, where I was talking about that exact thing. Because Tony Stark, the only thing he really invented in the MCU, the only thing he really invented was the Iron Man armor. Even the time travel itself was still kind of somebody else's work that he just kind of completed. So yeah, I hear you, Wookiee Supremacy. Though I gotta say, Captain America is probably one of my more favorite characters in the MCU. I've actually liked the current run of Captain America going on right now. There's just some things about it I don't like. And for one, they need to keep the same artist on it, and maybe not Lionel Francis Yu, but I think because I know he did the first handful of issues. Eli Gray says, I think all the series are one season. Yeah, I hope they're not, but I have a feeling that it's the same thing. I have a feeling they all will be. Maybe they'll bring some of them back in other roundabout ways through other series and just in the movies and things like that. But yeah, I think for the most part, the movies, I think the TV series are going to be setting up characters that are going to be crossed over into the MCU, definitely. Definitely. Aduder Reviews, thank you so much for being here. Aduder says, can't wait to see how the TV shows are going to link to the movies. Yeah, again, well, and I just said that. I think a lot of them are going to really be introducing, or going to be more of our origin stories of these characters before they cross over into the MCU. I know a lot of people out there have said oh, Kevin Feige said you have to watch these movies to understand what's going on in the MCU. For one, I don't believe that. I think he's just trying to sell the service. He's the producer of Marvel Studios. He's the president of Marvel Studios. He's the producer of all these movies. He's just trying to sell a service. He wants you to watch the shows. He wants you to order Disney Plus to watch the shows. It's his job to sell the shows. So of course he's going to say that. But I think, and I've said this before, is when it comes to the movies, any great writer out there on doing the screenplays and whatnot is going to fill you in on what happened in the shows within the confines of the movie, so you're not completely left out of the loop. Because to put that all in the shows and have no crossover is absolutely ridiculous. So to any of the people that are outraged out there saying, "Oh, that's bullshit. You have to watch these shows just to watch the movies and understand them." No, you don't. I can guarantee you. I will almost. You know what? I will shave my head if I'm wrong about this, but I can guarantee you that you won't absolutely have to watch these shows to watch the movies. And Yeah, that's kind of a joke about me shaving the head. Maybe how about I'll grow my beard or I'll grow my hair? Is that a bigger threat? Because believe me, I look funny with with the cul-de-sac here and everything. Because this stuff it grows out fast. This stuff grows out fast. Maverick Pilgrim says Thunderbolts will be set up in Black Widow for sure. Oh yeah, absolutely. I think there will be set up through Black Widow and even the Falcon and Winter Soldier series. Absolutely 100%. Because that actually all plays into my theories of going into Civil War 2 and even Secret Empire. Absolutely. Eli Gray says, read all of Civil War II and Secret Empire. Me too. I need to go out and buy the Civil War II comic line. I need to buy the first Civil War, as a matter of fact, as well, which I'll probably do first. But I actually own the trade, like, I think was it the trade paperback I've got? Yeah, I got the trade paperback of Secret Empire, and even the one that came before it, which is kind of what got me back into reading comic books, was The Assault on Pleasant Hill. If you go back and read The Assault on Pleasant Hill, a lot of telling things in there that all of these things have happened in the MCU so far, and that's why I believe that's exactly where we're headed to within the MCU. Eli Gray says that would work with all the different factions of Avengers teams and the Thunderbolts 100%. Eli, definitely. I think we will see the CAI Tony in a suit. Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, Eli, me and you, we're here, bro. We're right there. We're right there with each other. I got you, bro. I'm there for you. I'm there for you, and you're there for me, man. Thank you. Cousin Angel of Yonkers says Captain Pennsylvania. Cyclops will always get played in the movies and TV shows. When the X-Men fought Proteus, Cyclops took out the whole X-Men by himself. Yeah, definitely. And I hope they do Cyclops justice, in the MCU. Just when they bring him in, because they're finally doing him some justice in the comic books. King Bar says Falcon becomes Cap in the comics. I personally wasn't digging it, but it would be cool if they follow the Avengers X-Men Axis comics a little. Plus, Falcon being Cap kind of opens the door up for Secret Empire. Oh yeah, absolutely, King Bars, and that's kind of something I was discussing a little bit earlier. I'm not sure if you were here for that, which it sounds like you probably were, but absolutely, and that's why I say that's why I think that the show is going to revolve around that whole Sam Wilson Captain America storyline, where he was given the shield by Steve Rogers, because that exact thing happened in the comic. What we've seen in Avengers Endgame is exactly what happened in the comic books. I mean, exactly. Captain America was old. The serum had been drained from him, and I didn't read that series, the whole Dimension Z stuff, but I've been wanting to go back and read that. But I mean, that's exactly what happened. He was old man Cap. He was Joe Biden Cap, and he handed the shield over to Sam. Sam took it, and he took up the mantle. And the whole series was basically him trying to come to terms with being Captain America, and people not liking him. Hashtag not my captain. So yeah, King Bars, you're right there with me and Eli Gray here, 100%. Eli Gray says it would make sense if and plus, before I get into Eli's thing here is, a lot of people are talking about the MCU going woke. They're going woke. A lot of that plays into exactly that. You know what I mean? That whole storyline and everything plays into exactly that. That's why I think that's exactly where we're headed to. Eli Gray says it would make sense if Feige liked New Mutants, that he could have lined up Josh Boone for Strange and said New Mutants was good to go. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Captain Pennsylvania says Cyclops blasted Wolverine's adamantium off in Age of Apocalypse. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Skipping ahead a little bit more here, gonna start wrapping things up here in just a minute. Chaos and Comics, thank you so much for being here. Says he invented Jarvis and Ultron too. Absolutely, 100%. And it looks like, if you're reading the current series of J.J. Abrams' Spider-Man, he invented more than that. Eli Gray says Pym invented Ultron. Yeah, absolutely. In the comics, he did. In the MCU, it was Tony Stark. Well, kind of, for the most part. But yeah, and again, that's something else that could all be played into each other too, because don't forget that Loki took the space stone and went, and he's, apparently his series is going to be him meddling with time. I think there's a lot going on there. I think there's an absolutely lot of things going on there with that whole thing. So yeah, absolutely. Eli Gray says not all the series. I bet She-Hulk, Ms. Marvel, Moon Knight could be multiple seasons. They could be. Wookiee Supremacy says there's a guy on Smodcast called Comic Head. He does comic reviews. Anyone who likes comics should check him out. I'll do that. I'll do that. I'll do that, Wookie. Eli Gray says they shouldn't let Hickman's current X-Men story be the intro. It's a new take. Yeah, no, I think you're right, Eli. I don't think they should let that be the intro, but I do think they should. I think they're going to use some of the elements there to bring into the movies. Um, Eli Gray says, I also think we are seeing John Bernthal back as Punisher and Charlie Cox back as Daredevil. Yeah, there's been rumors about that going on. I'm not for sure. I like John Bernthal. I was never into like the Netflix Marvel shows. They weren't terrible. I don't know. I just got a thing with TV shows, the TV format. But I've said for a while. I mean, we were talking the other day about possibly bringing Daniel Radcliffe on to be Wolverine, because I know there was speculation that he's coming in to be Mark Spector. But I was thinking he would be good for Wolverine. But I think John Bernthal would absolutely be great to come in and play James Howlett. I think he would be great at that. He's got the look, he's got the talent. The only thing is he's kind of tall for playing Logan as well. A Dude Review says, Second Street Marvel, second time watching one of your streams. Love the content, really informative too. Well, thank you, A Dude Reviews. I appreciate that. Don Draper says, at Eli, Grey Hulk and Wolverine would be awesome. They could do a tribute to Li native Len Wein. Yeah, that would be great. That would be great. And I actually, you know what, guys, I have a copy, like an actual first run. I have an actual copy of Incredible Hulk 181. It's in like the worst condition ever though. Wookiee Supremacy says, "Oh my God, a long-haired Trinity would be hilarious." I know, like, right? Like, I'd look like, I'm not sure if you guys know who Devin Townsend is. Devin Townsend, he does a solo project, but he also used to be in a band called Strapping Young Lad. Canadians might know who he is, but he used to do that. He's going bald like me too, but he had his hair all long and he just looked like a crazy madman. Yeah, because believe me, this stuff right here, it grows pretty fast. It's just it don't grow right here because it's migrating down the back of my neck. Cousin Angel of Yonker says the Mutant Massacre, the Fall of the Mutants, and the Inferno would be a great X-Men trilogy, but it's too late for that. I don't think it is too late for that in the MCU. In the MCU, but yeah, I think like the whole Dark Phoenix saga and all that stuff. I think Kevin Feige's gonna stay away from that for the most part when it comes to stuff like that, and not that that has to do with what you're talking about there, but I think it does all kind of tie in. The Lonely Branch says hashtag not my captain. Yeah, and like I said, go back and read the Sam Wilson Captain America stuff. A lot of that's in there. A lot of that's in there. Cousin Angel says Captain Pennsylvania. I wish I could buy you a beer. You can. You can. Eli Gray says I don't see all these woke agendas. Honestly, you can see anything if you want. If you try hard enough. The female team up was A-Force. Yeah, absolutely, Eli. I'm there with you too. I know a lot of people out there kind of talk about the agenda stuff. I mean, some of that's a lot of spin from a lot of people who are just trying to get clicks and views and on their articles and on their YouTube channels and stuff like that. I get it. You got to play an angle. You got to get people outraged. But I don't see it neither. Now they have. I mean, obviously, Marvel Studios and Disney have largely been very open about what they're doing with their movies. If you go back and watch some of the bonus features on which one was it? Rogue One. They actually say something in one of the bonus features, like they actually casted one of the people just because he was Hispanic and stuff like that. It's like, come on, like guys, you gotta try here. Like but I'm there with you, Eli. I don't see any of it in the MCU yet or anything like that. Like any of the actual agenda-based stuff. I mean, obviously they are pushing for more representation and bringing in just different people of color and those kinds of things. But to me, I don't think that equals woke. I don't think that equals woke or anything. But how some people feel out there, I get their feelings behind that stuff. But to me, I don't see it neither. Um, oh, okay. Eli says you should use Hickman's take. I didn't mean not to. Okay, yeah. I mean, I think they will use some of it, probably not all of it, but I think that's part of the reason why they started doing what they are doing in the comic books. I think that's part of the reason they're doing it. Cousin Angel of Yonkers says Joe Biden Captain America would be funny because his shield would have hands. Yes. Um, Unpopular, but Zac Efron would crush Wolverine, and he's BFFs with Jackman. Oh yeah, I think Zac Efron would be another one too. Again, he's a little bit tall for Wolverine, but again, that didn't stop him with. It didn't stop what they did at Fox with Jackman either. But Zac Efron, he's another one. I mean, he's got the look too. He's kind of got the square jawline. He stays in pretty good shape. So to add some muscle onto him would be no problem. He kind of leads a healthy lifestyle and stuff like that. And plus, he's got the talent. He is a great actor as well. Wookiee Supremacy says Harry Potter is Wolverine. Really? Yeah, absolutely, 100%. I'm totally on board for Harry Potter coming on to play Wolverine. I'm all about it. Matter of fact, I'm all about it. I'd love it because I mean he's got the size and stature, he's got the talent, and he's got the look. He's kind of got somewhat of a square jaw himself to come in and play Wolverine. I mean I'm 100% behind him coming in to play Wolverine. And I'm just so surprised that when those rumors came up about him coming in to try out for to be Mark Spector, Moon Knight, I'm so surprised that nobody's like, oh, he's gonna be Wolverine, because I think that's what he's gonna ultimately end up getting. Cousin Angel says Zac Efron would make a good Macho Man for the Hulk Hogan movie they are making. Yeah, he would. He would too. He would. A dude review says strapping young lad. Yeah, hell yeah, dude. I love Strapping Young Lad. I actually got to see them one time. I got who was it? Strapping Young Lad, Meshuggah, Neurosis. And I can't remember who else was there. Oh, I know who else was there. It was some opening band who came out and they were playing, and they were actually a pretty good band. And then the singer during in the middle of one of the songs started preaching and stuff there in the middle of the stage. I'm like, bro, like I'm not, you're free to believe what you believe in, but I didn't come to a concert to hear you preaching to me, bro. um, Eli Gray says Efron is short, ripped, and hairy like Wolverine, and the right height. I believe Zac Efron is right about 6 feet. So I think him and John Bernthal are both right there, maybe about 5'11", 6 feet. So I think they're a little bit tall, but I do think that like Daniel Radcliffe, I think he's like what is he, 5'8", 5'7"? He's like the perfect height, because it's funny, in the comics Wolverine, I think they used to say was like 5'4", and now they list him at 5'7". So but I think to me, I think that's a perfect, but again, I'm not really big into fan casting either. Kenneth Cohen says, yo, sorry I had to hop out for a bit for the Den of Nerd stream. What's that? Oh, the Den of Nerds are streaming? Oh, dang it. I missed it. Oh, Josh, are you trying to cancel me, man? Zach Bolton, thank you so much for being here. Zach says, why do a lot of current series have Dark Phoenix variant covers recently? Dark Phoenix, do they have Dark Phoenix variant covers right now? I think the variant covers I've been seeing have been oh, you know what? You might be right. You might be right. Wookiee Supremacy says race swapping is just as stupid as changing Ahsoka Tano to green. Yeah, agreed. I'm there with you. Wookiee Supremacy. There's no reason for them to do that. Eli Gray says watch. Zac Efron is like 5'8" like me. Watch Baywatch. He's bulked up. Oh yeah, yeah. In Baywatch, yeah, I thought that movie was pretty funny. But yeah, he was pretty ripped in that too. Definitely. Wolverine needs to be short next time, says LB. Absolutely, 100%. A dude review says Danny DeVito is Wolverine. Hell yeah, brother. That would be great. Or at least an alternate version. Like, come on, guys. And if you go back and read The Fearless, and by the way, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't go out and buy the Fearless series and read them. Just don't do it. But they did a comic book, called series called Fearless, and they actually did. They had 3 short stories in each one of them, and in one of them they had Wolverine and Jubilee going out and doing some stuff, and Wolverine actually looked like a Danny DeVito character. The art was so terrible. Kenneth Cullen says that lonely banter. I'm sorry I had to. We've turned the gaming channel into a live stream channel, so it was on there, making a lot of changes. Personally, I want Efron, Johnny Storm. Efron would be great as Johnny Storm, and man, I can't believe I missed that. I didn't even get my notifications for that. I'm gonna have to go watch that. But guys, that's all I'm gonna have for today's video. I didn't even get a touch on that new Birds of Prey trailer that dropped yesterday. I watched it. It's okay. I'm gonna go see the movie at the theater. The trailer, again, it didn't really do too much for me. It didn't make it look any better, but it was certainly better than the first one. But I will still be going to see that movie at the movie theater. But that's all I have for today's video, guys. Thank you all so much for tuning into the Second Street Marvel. If you're not already, please make sure you subscribe, click the little bell, and just all that good stuff YouTube tells me to tell you to do. And while you're at it, make sure that you share this video with a friend and invite them to come hang out with us here on the Second Street Marvel. And don't forget, tonight, guys, we're going to get knee deep into it on the Trailer Park Live, and that starts at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So make sure you have those notifications turned on, and that's when I get a little more rated R. And I've got a lot of things to say tonight, things that I definitely can't say or make mention of here on the show. But it's going to be good, I'll tell you. It's going to be good. You guys might want to make sure that you're there, don't and not miss it. You all have a very good day, and we'll see you tonight on the Trailer Park Live.